going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new Titans review here at A-Plus Hero Report. It is I, your host, Adam Perez, back once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we're continuing along with Season 3 of Titans. And I gotta say, man, 2 episodes in, my mind right now is like, this for me at least feels like one of the more solid and probably best starts that we've had to a Titans season. Again, not taking anything away from season 2 and Issei Morales that played Deathstroke. Really love that storyline here, but Titans season 3 right now, at least 2 episodes in, truly feels like on a whole nother level. I mean, again, the tone, the vibes that we're getting in here, they're really not pulling sort of any punches when it comes to not only Red Hood, but the storyline and just some of the character dynamics that we got to explore here in this week's episode. So unbelievable stuff, if you certainly ask me. It really does feel like the storytelling has kind of taken a leap forward. So whatever they've done this year, kudos so far to them, because I've been really impressed. I mean, just the idea that in the second episode of season 3 that you reveal already to Dick Grayson that it is in fact Jason Todd under the helmet here for Red Hood, when we just were under the impression that homeboy literally just died. I was kind of thinking that that was something that a reveal that certainly was going to come a little bit later on in the season, right? Adding a little bit more mystery. I mean, granted, it does sort of add mystery, because the big question I have is, how did it get to this point for Jason Todd, right? Like, is it something that he's been taking that sort of has pushed him over the edge? Has homeboy literally been planning this for like how long? I really want to know, like, if this is something that he's been wanting to do, he's just been pushed over the edge and now he just wants to become a villain, and that's his mindset, or is something really happening with him? I honestly have no idea, so I'm kind of intrigued to kind of see how this gets further explained. But just a surprise, a great performance here by Brandon Thwaites, who plays Dick Grayson in here. Just the idea of just seeing how shocked in how much he clearly didn't believe that it's in fact Jason Todd still alive and the villain of this story in here. So I'm really loving it, man. I think like the story, whoever the writer of this series is, they definitely are not, like I said, they're not holding back any punches. It feels like they're really taking a lot of chances, bolder chances that I don't think that we saw in seasons 1 and 2. And it feels as though like Titans has kind of found its footing finally. Like, the one thing that I continue to enjoy, especially about this episode, is that we get to see the Titans working like the Titans certainly should, right? Now that we've seen a team in Starfire, Superboy, Beast Boy, that have now had sort of training under their belt, and are getting to kind of showcase some of their strengths in here. Like, the fact that Gar all of a sudden is like a genius level when it comes to, like, he's literally the Queen's Gambit in here, breaking down all the chess moves. Like, Gar, I had no idea that you knew all this stuff. It just seems like everybody has really taken a step forward in this team, and this is the type of family atmosphere, team atmosphere that I was really hoping that I would get, say, in like seasons 1. And heck, even if you got to put the team together, I would have thought maybe we would have even seen this in season 2 a little bit. But we spent so much time in the first 2 seasons either tearing this group apart or having to force them to get to know each other, deal with a couple of their past mistakes and lies and things like that. Now that we've gotten that all out of the way, the fact that this team now feels like a more traditional Titans team, it feels like it's finally home, if you will. So I don't know what, again, to only 2 episodes in, this is certainly a long way to go when it comes to this series, but it feels very much like they've gotten their feet under them and they're really doing a good job of balancing out the story. Like, when we get to see Hank appear in here and he's got his great biker shorts on and homeboy's working for like the police, the bike police, when I saw that, I started thinking to myself, oh, here we go. They're going to introduce another storyline here. They're barely going to touch upon the Dick Grayson, Red Hood, Barbara Gordon storyline whatsoever, and we're just going to start throwing ourselves into other character arcs and kind of get lost and things like that. But they didn't do that at all. They really did do a fantastic job of keeping a really great balance, even continuing to give Starfire a little bit of a peek into her storyline, right? More visions, contacting the psychologist again, reaching out to him. So it should be interesting to kind of see how she starts putting her own pieces together, because again, we get ourselves yet another vision, and I think she gets the vision inside of Jason Todd's room. So again, I'm still trying to figure out, like, is she seeing visions of Jason Todd and what's going on in his life, or are these flashbacks of her own life, and things like that? So the plot certainly thickens when it comes to Starfire, but I'm glad that they haven't forgotten about her, and they're giving her just enough, not only just for her own personal storyline, but again, continuing to show the strength of this Titans team now forming, working alongside Gar and Superboy sort of in the Batcave, trying to figure out the next step in the Red Hood's plot. I thought that was just really great to kind of see that there are other people, and the fact that even Dick Grayson gives him credit, when he confronts Red Hood at the very end in a great battle sequence between those two. The fact that he congratulates the Nightwing for getting the chest riddle, and he's like, oh well, I've got help, back at Titan's Tower, sort of thing, or help with the Titans. I love that he gives Gar a little bit of a shout out there to showcase that, look, they've come a long way, since the last time that we've certainly seen them, and I love getting an opportunity to see that highlighted in here also. And it feels like they're finally giving Gar something to do, utilizing him pretty well. I mean, he wind up kicking some ass in episode 1. It seems as though he's definitely finding his fitting along in this team, even though I'm certainly sure that he definitely wishes that Rachel was certainly around. And I gotta say that the decision making to keep Rachel off of TV the first 2 episodes, heck, maybe off of the first 3 episodes, I don't know, I haven't gotten to episode 3 yet, but I like the fact that we've given some mystery behind that character to finally see what she's up to. I mean, we know that she's on Themyscira trying to help out Donna Troy, but just appearance wise, personality wise, how much she's grown just as a person, I'm really eager to now see Rachel and how she certainly fits amongst this team. So really great stuff. Loving the way that this team is certainly coming together. And again, I will even say this, for me, considering the fact that I wasn't the biggest Hank fan, aka Hawk, in season 2. I didn't mind him in season 1. I really liked his dynamic with Dawn, the pushback that he would always give Dick Grayson and their past together and things like that. I enjoyed how he was certainly utilized in season 1, but season 2 just felt like a completely different Hank. Like, homeboy was just going through some stuff, and I was just not a fan of that character. But I gotta say, man, it feels like they understand this character so much better now. Just his brief presentation from him on his bike, whether that be talking to Dove and finally confronting her, sort of thing, right? Like, just trying to get his foot in the door to being accepted by her once again, I thought was awesome to see when it comes to Hank. And then just a little bromance, the little man-to-man conversation that he winds up having with Dick Grayson in here. Again, it's those elements of the Titans finally together, the family dynamic that I really enjoy, those interpersonal relationships. So to be able to see Hank along with Dick Grayson have this sort of conversation with one another and feel like Hank is back to who he certainly was in season 1 really gives me hope again that this season is in really good hands. So I'm really liking the direction that we've seen so far. HBO Max is really doing a great job in how they're handling it, and I'm gonna have to do some more research to kind of see what has certainly changed since season 2, whether that be they've got new executive producers or a brand new writing team on board. Who certainly knows? But they're definitely going for the throat 2 episodes in. I mean, brutal. The violence is there. Red Hood making his appearance where he literally shoots the dude in the head. The fact that he literally drops a bag of like a severed head in the beginning of this episode to really grab everybody's attention. I really want to see what the end result is going to be for Red Hood in here. I was surprised and shocked that they revealed it already, even though I knew who it was certainly going to be. The fact that they revealed it literally in the second episode really surprised me. Really ballsy decision. But now the weight of knowing who it is under that hood, that's definitely going to be sitting with Dick Grayson and probably Barbara Gordon also to some extent. So I'm really excited to see how that happens. And again, when it comes to Barbara Gordon, Savannah Welsh continues to do a great job. Like I can see and almost feel like the awkwardness of what this past relationship between these two certainly used to be, right? Like the fact that even Hank, jokes around with Dick Grayson about Barbara, wanting to keep it professional, and he's like, ouch, or he makes some sort of comment, right? It just goes to emphasize just the relationship between Barbara and Dick and just the current status that it's in currently, right? The fact that she wants to be professional, that there's not many people that can affect Barbara Gordon that way, like Dick Grayson, for her to make some of these clumsy mistakes or errors out in the field that are really costing her, right? So he is clearly having an effect on her, and maybe not necessarily in the way that she certainly would like for it to. So I'm really fascinated by this dynamic between these two characters. The fact that he's coming back home after such a long time. Clearly, both of their lives have changed, finding themselves in two very different positions, and really having to kind of work together when your mentor has kind of gone off the deep end and killed somebody, right? Like, so it really puts that relationship and that dynamic already in a weird place. And the fact that he's now just kind of coming back and they have a past together, yeah, it can definitely get messy, but I really love what it's providing in regards to drama for the season so far. So really great stuff. Again, the direction I thought in here was fantastic. The lighting, again, it's just the tone and the atmosphere of this show has almost completely changed a little bit, or at least it's handling itself and executing it so much better than what I've seen so far. So if they can really keep this momentum of these first two episodes for the majority of the rest of this season, we're in excellent hands. And I'm really surprised myself that I found myself enjoying this as much as I certainly have. A real quick shout out, we did in fact get the Scarecrow in here briefly. Jonathan Crane behind bars, coming to find out that he's actually been working with the GCPD as a consultant with everything that's certainly going on in the city these days. So if anybody is definitely going to help Dick Grayson get to the bottom of what's going on with Jason Todd, it's definitely going to be him. So I don't know, I was under the impression that maybe Jason Todd was trying to do some sort of reverse reconstruction of the fear serum that a Scarecrow uses so that he's less fearful. I mean, maybe he made it a little bit too strong, right? And now this guy just thinks he can run Gotham City, not being afraid of anybody. But I will say this, if there was a disappointment that I had, and I don't even know if it's a disappointment, but it does make me wonder about the progress of this season, in the sense that we've already had Nightwing literally defeat Red Hood in this episode. I mean, he literally cracked his helmet, and had he not been distracted, by the fact that it was in fact Jason Todd under the helmet, and he catches him with the gun and the bullet, so Nightwing has to certainly retreat, he probably would have beat that ass, right? Like the idea of Red Hood being able to get the advantage over Nightwing, the fact that he got so easily handled hand-to-hand combat, especially with his toys, right? He's like, Bruce always told me you were better with your toys, or something like that. He certainly proved it, right? So I don't want to say the Red Hood threat is certainly gone, but I would have liked to have seen maybe the Red Hood have gotten a little bit more of an advantage and an upper hand in here, because now that I think, okay, if they ever have to face each other one-on-one again, Nightwing's easily going to take this guy. But I will say this also, I don't remember Jason Todd being this damn smart, right? Like the guy that just had the biggest hissy fit from losing his girlfriend about, with Rose because she lied to him and things like that. The way that he's always sort of handled himself, right? Like even Dick is like, yeah, this guy's he's never picked up a book in his life. Like the guy just doesn't read. Yet it does feel a little bit far-fetched in the sense that now I'm supposed to believe that he's like making plans on top of plans to kind of fool even that of Dick Grayson sort of thing, right? To kind of always get the upper hand. It feels like that's a little bit even too smart for somebody like Jason Todd, but maybe I'm not giving this guy enough credit, right? I mean, he did work with Batman for quite some time, so I guess I shouldn't hark on him in regards to some of his methods, but the fact that he's even besting Nightwing and being a better Batman in that sense, I think says something. So it felt a little bit odd, but maybe I'll give Jason Todd the benefit of the doubt that he's coming up with these plans all by himself, or he's the master genius plan behind all this. But who certainly knows? But overall, guys, I was certainly impressed in here. What were some of your favorite moments of this particular week's episode? Pros, cons, what did you guys think? Remember, at the end of the day, these are just simply my A+ opinions, but I certainly want to go ahead and know yours. So what did you guys think about episode number 2 of Titans? Let your thoughts be known in the live chat or the comment section box below. And if I missed any character details, storyline plots that you want to further go ahead and discuss, again, let them know, be known in the comment section, and we'll definitely go ahead and continue to have a further discussion in regards to this episode. But other than that, guys, I think that's going to do it for us here. We will be back with our episode 3 review for you guys by the end of this weekend, so certainly look out for that. But until next time, do me a big favor, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.